What up? What up? It's your boy. I'm back. Tunnel vision. I almost swerved into another lane and into a car. I need that lane thing when you go into a lane to pull you right back into the middle and keep you from crashing. Damn, especially in this weather. It's all raining outside, traffic everywhere. It's ugly out here. But we talking about Garry Russell today, man. Word in the street is Garry Russell might be going to Dzon and signing a deal with Eddie Hearn. And supposedly because he's upset that, he's not getting the Santa Cruz fight. I guess Santa Cruz is jumping up to 130 pounds, and he's taking on, may possibly Tank Davis in a huge fight at 130 pounds for a title. Man, Russell, you ain't got nobody to blame but yourself, man. You look at other people who have been in the same position as Garry Russell before. You gotta look at somebody like Earl Spence. Earl Spence was coming up. He was trying to get the fights. Couldn't get the fights that he wanted. He wanted Keith Thurman. He wanted Sean Porter. He wanted Danny Garcia. None of these guys wanted to face him. And at the same time, he also wasn't really the kind of guy to really talk. He was a quiet dude. But he understood that he had to open up in order to put himself into the space that he wanted to be, in order to get the things that he wanted. He understood that it's not just about going into that ring and boxing. There's other things you got to do in order to apply pressure on guys, and put them into a space where it's uncomfortable for them being in their own skin due to what the backlash on social media, what reporters say to them, when they go to different events, the way fans hound them, different things that are yelled at them. He understood that. He understood that he needed to put that pressure, so he started talking. After the Kell Brook fight, after he got that title, kept out calling Keith Thurman, kept out calling Sean Porter, kept on calling Danny Garcia. He started going to a lot of different events where there's obviously a lot of reporters, who put things online, and he started talking, interview after interview after interview after interview. Kept himself extremely active. And whenever he fought, kept on putting out spectacular performances and just kept yapping their names. Like, I want this guy, I want that guy, but they don't want any smoke. Going to a Sean Porter versus Danny Garcia the event. After it, right up in there, talking. And he put himself into a space where he started getting a huge following. Went and fought Owen Campbell, and 15,000 people showed up. Even the people who set up the event were shocked that so many people came to see him. Boom, all of a sudden Mikey Garcia saw that, oh man, that's a check right there. And he sees something. Jumped in there, thought it was sweet. Thought he had a higher IQ than Earl Spence. Thought, Earl Spence was nothing but, quote, a banger. And he found out that it's not true. Got his ass outboxed from the beginning of the bell to the end of that fight. Got beat from pillar to post. Easy win. I don't think Mikey won a single second in that damn fight. Then after that, Sean Porter, he's getting it hard with social media. His father's getting it hard. His father's getting upset. He's getting pissed. Everybody calling him a ducker, calling him this and that. It got to the point where he just couldn't take it anymore. And fighting Earl Spence, was going to be a huge fight. And, so he signed up for it. Now Earl Spence is in a space where now he's, he got that big pay-per-view with Mikey in front of 47,000 people. And now he's getting this fight against Sean Porter. That's all in a couple of weeks. That's also going to be on pay-per-view. Tickets selling very well on that fight. We'll see how the pay-per-view does. But he's getting all the things that he wanted. But he put in the work to get it. Wilder, same thing. He wanted, the Anthony Joshua fights. He wanted all the big fights. And he understood that, that he needed to apply that pressure. Speaking, going from event to event to event, consistently doing interviews with different media that's, really intertwined with the fans. They have the ears of the fans. Doing that, going to all the different events. Obviously staying active, looking spectacular in his events, and pushing the issue. And they didn't want to fight him. Hey, man, cool. Everybody's scared of Ortiz. Let me go do this dangerous fight against Ortiz since Anthony Joshua don't want to fight me. Doing that fight, increasing his profile, really increasing his profile. This man's going over to Belfast, when he decided he was going to fight Tyson Fury, getting mobbed by fans. Because even though he wasn't getting the Anthony Joshua fight, people started to see that, this guy really is scared of this guy. This guy really doesn't want to fight this guy. This guy's turning down $50 million. Wilder's accepting $15 million flat, and this guy's walking away and going to fight Povetkin. And just help push him to a different stratosphere. Has a big fight against Tyson Fury. Supposed to do a rematch, but Tyson Fury curls up and walks away from that and goes signs a deal on ESPN. Cool. He goes and fights Dominic Brazil, flatlines him. Meme. Another meme. Ortiz, memes. Tyson Fury, memes. When it came to this guy, Dominic Brazil, memes. He just kept pushing it, and he kept pushing the issue, and he's still very vocal. Very, very vocal. He did the work that was necessary, not only inside of the ring, but outside the ring, in order to get into that space that he wanted to be in. He put in that work. Now, when it comes to Garry Russell, they ask him this. They say, why don't you do what these other guys do? Why don't you talk as much or more? Why aren't you more vocal? Because what he does is when he has a fight coming up, he'll talk. He has his last fight that was coming up, on the Wilder undercard. Man, that man was talking. He was yapping Tank's name. He was yapping Leo Santa Cruz's name over and over again, and put Santa Cruz to the point where Santa Cruz started responding, saying, "Oh no, I'd fight you next, this and that," because he was looking crazy out here. But the second his fight was done, you didn't hear nothing from Garry Russell. And you're not going to hear anything from him until he has another fight set up. And once he has another fight set up, that's when you'll start hearing from him. And his answer to it was that he doesn't believe that he should do all those things in order to get those big fights. These guys who just want to fight him. He should not have to do all these things. Those are the things that you have to do in order to get what you want, in order to get into the space that you want. But, if you don't want to do those things, that's fine. But then when things don't happen the way you want them to happen, you got to deal with it. You got to be okay with it. You got to be okay with it. I want the rewards without putting in the work. That's what he's basically saying. He's like, I want to go into the ring once a year. I want to fight. I want to do my thing. Then after that, I want to go home and chill. And I don't want to put in any of the work, but I still want what those guys have without putting the same investment that they put in. That's what he's basically saying. And that's just not reality, and that's not how things work. So he wants to go to Dzon, by all means, go to Dzon, go get your money. He already said that he only intends on fighting just a couple more years, and that's going to be it for him. A couple more fights and he's done. So, he has his game plan all set up. So if that's what you want to do, that's cool. And he's been trying to, he's been looking at other platforms to fight at. A lot of people don't understand or know this, but Garry Russell's not signed to Al Heyman. They continue to work. His brothers are, but he isn't. So he continues to work with PBC, but he continues to work with PBC because they always give him the biggest deal. He'll go to Top Rank. He's gone to the Zone, but PBC always gives him the most amount of money when it comes to his fights. So that's why he continues to fight on PBC events. I think his last, the fight against Diaz, I know he made over $2 million for that fight. And then on top of that, he got the entire gate for the fight, which is $1.2 million. So he made over $3 million just for that fight. A little bit under what Terrence Crawford makes per fight. And this is for a guy who only fights once a year. And PBC is really good when it comes to promoting events. They're really good with, for whatever reason, they're really good when it comes to that. They were able to pack out that house. And, he made his bread. Fought on the Wilder undercard. I'm not sure what he got paid for that. But again, he got put into a big, huge event again, as a co-main. And, he made his money. But, you want to go to the Zone, by all means, go do your thing. If they're going to pay you, hey, go get your money. but you have to still be content with not getting those fights that you want, you know, because you'll still be in a space where you're not putting in that work. You're going to be in a space where you're fighting on a platform that doesn't get any kind of real viewership, you know. And when it comes to the American events, they haven't shown that they're really good at promoting fights. You know, Eddie Hearn's been really good when it comes, you know, when it comes to Anthony Joshua. You know, he was able to get a lot of people from the UK to come here to watch him fight. But the rest of his events, they haven't been doing very well when it comes to that. You know, the Maurice Hooker fight, you have a unification bout versus Ramirez in Houston. I mean, or in Texas. I think it could have been somewhere else. It was in Texas, you know, which are huge Mexican population. And you got, you know, Tevin Farmer on the undercard. And they brought in 5,000 people, less than 5,000 people for that event. According to Bob Arum, they did less than 25,000 views on Dzon. I mean, you know, that's what you're going to be going to, you know. But, you know, at the end of the day, if they're going to give you that check, go get your money, man. But don't expect certain things, though, when you're not willing to put in that work in order to get those things, in order to put yourself into the space that you want to be in, you know. It's not how world works. It's not how life works. But y'all take it easy. See you on your next one.